Hello everybody, your friendly neighborhood meatball is back again with another torture session. This time we've got a Professor Oak's challenge and Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness on the GameCube. For those of you still waiting for Heart Gold, thank you so much for your patience. I hope to have it out for you guys by the end of March. Anyway, onto the challenge itself. And did you know that only 10% of people watch these videos are subscribed? Let's get into the rules first. I tend to get a little ahead of myself and assume people have already seen my previous challenges, but let me get you up to speed in case you haven't seen one before. Rule number 1, catch and evolve as many Pokemon as possible before each badge. Technically, seeing as XD doesn't have any badges, there isn't really any goalposts, so I'll be sticking with the admin fights as my goalposts. Rule number 2, no glitches to acquire extra Pokemon. However, glitches to save time in the challenge are allowed. However, there really aren't any here, especially since there's no time manipulation since XD doesn't have a day and night cycle. And lastly, rule number 3, no trading with other games. In-game trades, however, are allowed, and often required to get new Pokemon because this happens quite a few times here in XD, so we'll have to deal with that, even with a few rare encounters. And with that, let's get right into the challenge. As usual, I name myself Chaotic and go through the normal motions of XD, such as going through the simulation battle, going to find the main character's sister Jovi, battling Chobin, getting the snag machine, and watching Professor Crane get kidnapped, and getting into my first true battle against Spy Naps. What a name. I mean, Naps? I want to take a nap. Well, I guess we're back in the Ori region, so that's to be expected. Naps has our first Shadow Pokemon to snag in XD, that being Teddiursa. I don't even use an attack and snag Teddiursa in one ball, bringing us up to 2 Pokemon. After Cipher runs away, I'm told to go to Gateon Port with Jovi, and of course, she runs into some bodybuilder immediately, and I can't take him down. So these 3 color-coded mystery men come up and kick his butt, leaving us to continue our adventure to search for Mr. Crane. After an encounter with Jovi's friend, we go into this building where offered a stone by this man. He can either give you a water, thunder, or fire stone, or a sun and moon shard so that you can evolve it. I picked the water stone so that I could get Vaporeon, and used it immediately to evolve it, adding to our total. Staying in the town allows us to find casual guy Kyle, who has a Shadow Ladybug for us to snag. Oh boy, my absolute least favorite bug in the entire series! Woohoo! The last Shadow Pokemon of this area is up in the tower, as bodybuilder Kalen has the Shadow Poochyena we need to snag, bringing us up to 5 Pokemon. There's a few more fights in this town though, so I took those down and moved back over to Kaminko's house, since there's another battle we can do there. Chobin has a Sunkern and a Magikarp. This guy is literally doing a Pokemon challenge run and failing miserably. Grind up a little bit, buddy, you'll get him next time. This allows me to return to the lab, giving me access to a gate village, and meeting back up with Egan and his wife from the last game. There's a few battles around here, so if you haven't emptied the gauges for Teddiursa, Ladybug, or Poochyena yet, now would be a good time. They also want you to do this in story as well, giving you a much bigger reason to get rid of the gauges. After ganging up on Egan's Pikachu Team Rocket style, I purified my Poochyena, Teddiursa, and Ladybug before being told to head to Mount Battle. We run into one of the mayor's bodyguards named Eldis, telling us to train here on Mount Battle. Oh dear lord, we'll get to that. After fighting 2 fights here, we're able to meet Vander and we're informed of a place where some strange people are hanging around after finishing a 3rd one. I get an email on my way out notifying me that Pokeballs are now purchasable. Up to this point you only had a set amount, so this is nice. After stocking up, I headed to the mysterious lab and find the Power Rangers. These guys are actually Cipher peons, but does that make them the Psycho Rangers? Nah, they're not cool enough. They're like the Dark Rangers from Season 2 where Lord Zed spent too much money on the floral decoration of the Otherworld, but not enough on making the suits. Power Rangers. Getting back on track, they're a bunch of bumbling idiots, but they all have Shadow Pokemon up for us to grab. Blue 6 has Feel, Re 6 has Houndour, Brow 6 has Baltoy, Yellow 6 has Mareep, Perp 6 has Gulpin, and Gree 6 has Seedot. They're not hard to catch, and you're able to heal between fights if you're having trouble. I went ahead and added them to my party, and it's time to snag the last Pokemon of the section. The hideout is a pretty decent maze with quite a few battles, so use those to decrease the shadow gauge of your new Shadow Pokemon while going through to capture Spinarak from Peon Nexier, Lumel from Peon Solox, Carvana from Peon Cabal, and Shroomish from Cipher R&D Klotz. Okay, what the hell is wrong with these names? Seriously, I know I went off on them in the Coliseum Professor Oak's challenge, but seriously, they do not make any sense whatsoever. These are the last shadow Pokemon in the section before Lavrina, but these aren't the only encounters for the section. Oh god, no. I purified my Houndour, Seedot, who evolved into Nuzleaf upon purification, Spheal, and Mareep, who evolved into Flaffy upon purification. I rebattled the trainers here in the Gate Village so that I could get rid of the shadow gauges of the rest of the Pokemon in my possession, those being Baltoy, Spinarak, Numel, Gulpin, Shroomish, and Carvana. This actually didn't take too long, since all of these Pokemon literally kept going into reverse mode like every other turn, making it pretty easy to call to them and lower their gauges down to 0. Now it's time for the ultimate grind in literally any Professor Oak's challenge we've done so far. This is Mount Battle. I'm sure you're wondering, oh, this is where we're going to go for grinding and it takes a long time? No. This is where we get 3 more Pokemon. After clearing Mount Battle, you're able to get a Johto starter from the Battle Master, which is after 100 battles. So we have to go through 300 battles to get through the mountain, and get all of the available Pokemon in this section. And that's not all. This is the team of the Battle Master. That's right, we have to go through level 70 Pokemon in the first section, including a Latios and a Latias, and that's not even including the other legendaries that we'll run into through the regular trainers, so we'll be grinding quite a bit. But we'll get to that in due time. We have to grind first. That's right, we have to keep going through until we're able to fight the later battles without too much damage. This takes hours, but it's not too terrible. There's a sense of satisfaction knowing you can continue to take on more and more battles, leveling up your Pokemon before you have to start again. I got everything within about 2 hours up to this point, and I'll tell you how long it took for me to get through all of these battles soon. I evolved Spinarak into Ariados at level 22, Shroomish into Breloom at level 23, Ladybug into Ladian at level 18, Carvana into Sharpedo at level 30, Poochyena into Mightyena at level 18, Gulpin into Swalot at level 26, Flaffy into Ampharos at level 30, Numel into Camerupt at level 33, Spheal into Celio at level 32, Baltoy into Claydol at level 36, Houndour into Houndoom at level 24, Teddiursa into Ursaring at level 30, and Celio into Walrein at level 44. This grind wasn't too bad since the trainers kept getting higher and higher, so the EXP kept flowing pretty nicely. I couldn't even beat Mount Battle even at this point, so I had to keep grinding until about level 60 before I could go for a full attempt. I still couldn't one-shot things around Area 5 by that level, but still, I had to go for it so that I could just get out of this section as quickly as possible. Never mind, we've got more legendaries on our hands. I mean, at least they were just ice types, so Eruption did most of that damage, but I knew I needed some more grinding. I made it to Battle 90 with Camerupt and Claydol, getting them to the 70s before finally reaching the top and challenging Battleus for the first time. He's quite the fighter with a team of level 70 Pokemon, but I was able to pull it off after some good strategy, choosing Totodile to start off. Doing it again with Totodile in my party allowed me to evolve it into Croconaw at level 18 by Battle 21, and Croconaw into Feraligatr at level 30 by Battle 42. Because of all the leveling I had done, it was easy to take down Battleus due to being around 15 levels above him. I chose Chikorita, and on my last full playthrough, I evolved it into Bayleaf at level 16, and into Meganium at level 32. I managed to max out Camerupt's level on my final playthrough, leading to my final showdown with Battleus, grabbing Cyndaquil and evolving it into Quilava at level 14, and into Typhlosion at level 36. And with a time of over 34 hours, yes, over 34 hours of basically all grinding, we finish. I went back to the Cipher lab and rescued Professor Crane, grabbing the Leaf Stone in the room and immediately evolving Nuzleaf into Shiftry. These are all of the Pokemon needed before facing Lavrina, and there's no problem here. Camerupt has numerous multi-targeting moves, so I just used it and caught her Delcatty to start off the next section, and from here, the rest of the game is pretty smooth sailing. After rescuing Professor Crane, we're asked to bring the data ROM to Net over in Pyrite Town, which we do so. After leaving though, we're able to take a look at the Rock, Oasis, and Cave Pokespots. We're gonna have some fun here in this section since we have to catch 4 Pokemon each from these spots. I left some Pokesnacks at all 3 of the places and fought Mirror B at the cave spot, snagging his Voltorb in the process. Before any of the Pokespots went off, I went back to Pyrite Town and saw that Cipher invaded the ONBS station, so it's time to throw them out. The last Pokemon to snag in this section are Makuhita, Vulpix, Duskull, and Ralts, leaving me with just the grinding in the Pokespots. After about an hour and a half of saving and encountering, and soft resetting, and running and encountering, I finally found all 12 Pokemon I needed. I got Sandshrew, Gligar, and 2 Trapinch from the Rock Pokespot, Hoppip, Fanpy, and 2 Surskit from the Oasis Pokespot, and finally Zubat, Aron, and 2 Wooper as my last captures from the Cave Pokespot. I ran into Munchlax literally 4 times throughout this whole ordeal, but hey, at least I got a bunch of extra Pokesnacks. I purified all of my Pokemon for this section, and since we've got access to the upper levels of Mount Battle, I went through and evolved Wooper into Quagsire at level 20, Duskull into Dusclops at level 37, Aron into Lairon at level 32, and into Aggron at level 42, Trapinch into Vibrava at level 35, Makuhita into Hariyama at level 24, Voltorb into Electrode at level 30, Hoppip into Skiploom at level 18, and into Jumpluff at level 27, Vibrava into Flygon at level 45, Zubat into Golbat at level 22, Sandshrew into Sandslash at level 22, Surskit into Masquerain at level 22, Fanpy into Donphan at level 25, Ralts into Kirlia at level 20, Golbat into Crobat through Max Happiness, and Kirlia into Gardevoir at level 30. And with that, it's time to face off against Admin Exol. Of course, we still have a level 100, so he's a joke and we snag his Mawile as the first Pokemon of the section. From here, we're allowed to trade with Duking in the back of his house. This is where the extra raid spot encounters are needed, since we're going to trade our Trapinch for Meditite, Surskit for Shuckle, and Wooper for Larvitar, adding 3 more to the total. We're told to head to Phoenix City, so we do and immediately get kicked over to the Realgam Tower. We legitimately have nothing to do here, so I just immediately turn around after seeing Trudley Folly. I head up to the mayor's house, and after distracting the person there with some music, it led to a battle and me realizing that Cipher is taking control of the entire city. I snagged her Shadow Snowrun and made my way to the first floor, where I also snagged a Pineco. The pre-gym is infested with these guys, so I had to clear them out and snagged their Natu, Roselia, and Meowth along the way. There's one more battle outside of the Coliseum that has a Shadow Swinub for me to snag as well. Inside of the Coliseum, we can nab ourselves a Spearow and Grimer before going against Snaddle. I snagged the Peon Seal before him, but was immediately forced into a battle with Snaddle, so I had to white out. I tried snagging his Lunatone here and then whiting out, but I didn't realize that I wouldn't keep the Pokemon, so I just went and purified everything, leaving just the evolutions. Those evolutions are Larvitar into Pupitar at level 30, Natsu into Xatu at level 25, Pupitar into Tyranitar at level 55, Pineco into Fortress at level 31, Meditite into Medicham at level 37, Seal into Dugong at level 34, Spearow into Fearow at level 20, Meowth into Persian at level 28, Swinub into Piloswine at level 33, Grimer into Muck at level 38, and Snorunt into Glalie at level 42, giving us a total of 96 Pokemon and the most you can have before facing Snaddle. Excuse me, sir. Yes, that's my Lunatone. Thank you very much for looking after it so carelessly. I grabbed the elevator key and freed the citizens after being trapped in the pre-gym before being sent to the SS Libra to save the Bonsly. However, I need to upgrade my scooter to get there, so I do so, as well as seeing the Robo-Kyogre in production. I can't wait to ride in that thing. The only thing in here that matters is a Firestone, which I used immediately to evolve my Vulpix into Ninetales. After getting the Bonsly, I got my bum out of there and... oh. Well, I guess I can't snag anything for the time being. Don't worry, you're not forced to lose any Shadow Pokemon through this, so I go through the story beats, including grabbing a Shadow Togepi from the outskirts stand, which I'll need to trade back after purifying and evolving it. I destroyed Team Snag'em and took back the Snag Machine, allowing me to progress with the challenge. I traveled to the Tower Coliseum so I can snag myself Mirror B's Nose Pass, and return to the Cipher Key lair to take out all of the snags for the section. Zook is here, and we're finally able to snag a Zangoose after seeing it at the beginning of the game, as well as getting Paris, Growlithe, Shelder, Beedrill, Pidgeotto, Tangela, Butterfree, Magneton, Venomoth, Weepinbell, and Arbok from the numerous peons before Admin Gorgon. I went back and grabbed the Waterstone in Phoenix Coliseum since I didn't grab it earlier, purified everything, and went for the evolutions. This time's a little different though. I evolved Shelder into Cloyster with the Waterstone from earlier, Paris into Barasect at level 24 after a rare candy, and Togepi into Togetic through Max Happiness at level 43. Yeah, that was a lot higher than I expected. I traded it back for the Elekid, allowing me to go into Mount Battle and evolve it into Electabuzz at level 30, and Pidgeotto into Pidgeot at level 36, allowing me to now face Gorgon, who's another easy admin, allowing me to snag his Primeape and Hypno with ease. I discover that Varric is actually Greevil, and it's time to handle the last area of the game, Citadark Isle. This place has dozens of Shadow Pokemon and multiple admins, so we'll be breaking this up into a few chunks. It's a pretty set path, so I'll just go through the snags for this section. Before fighting Admin Ardos, we're able to snag a Golduck and Sableye from Navigator Absent, Dodrio and Raticate from Chaser Fergie, Altaria and Farfetch'd from Admin Lavrina, Kangaskhan and Bayonet from Peon Litnar, Magmar and Pinsir from Peon Groupal, Macargo and Rapidash from Peon Celeste, Hitmonchan from Peon Carbon, Hitmonlee from Peon Petro, Lickitung from Peon Geftal, Scyther and Chansey from Peon Leden, and Solrock and Starmie from Admin Snaddle. I purified all of them, and no, I'm not showing all 19 of them on screen since I was already strenuous enough on my computer for 10 of them earlier. I grabbed the Master Ball from Professor Crane, and we only have one evolution left, that being Chansey. I bought a crap ton of scents from a Gate Village to increase its happiness, and used my last rare candy to evolve it into Blissey. This segment didn't take too long at all, so let's blast out the last two before the final boss. Ardos is next, and he has a whopping 3 Shadow Pokemon. I guess I should address this, but in Pokemon Coliseum, no one had more than 1 Shadow Pokemon, not even upper-level Cipher admins like Nascor and Evis, but here they're tossed around like candy to the higher-ups. But that's fine with me. I snagged a Swellow and Snorlax, and this is the only instance of a duplicate Pokemon being catchable aside from the wild Pokemon, so I grabbed his Shadow Electabuzz for the heck of it. After being blocked off by Eldest and Greevil, I went out and faced Gorgon again, who had a Poliwrath and Mr. Mime for me to snag. The last peon standing in my way has a Shadow Dugtrio, leaving me to purify just 5 Pokemon before facing Eldest. This only took a few minutes due to just throwing them into the Purify Chamber and running in circles for a little bit. Eldest was the most difficult boss I had to face so far, but that really isn't saying much. He's got an insane 4 Shadow Pokemon, those being Manectric, Marowak, Salamence, and Lapras. And after purifying them, all that's left is Greevil. He has 7 Shadow Pokemon. Yes, 7! He's breaking the laws of Pokemon, and giving us an excuse to steal literally every one of his Pokemon. Lugia gets the Master Ball, and his other 6 give me some problems, but they're not too harsh. I used Marowak to put most of them to sleep, and after around 15 Ultra Balls, I managed to capture Rhydon, Executor, Moltres, Tauros, Articuno, and Zapdos, finally taking down Cipher permanently, or until Game Freak decides that it's time to make a remake or a sequel. Also, who decided that Greevil needed the fried chickens when Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green already existed? This isn't the last Shadow Pokemon though, since we do have one more. First of all though, I immediately purified Lugia since I already had max efficiency on all of my purification slots due to earlier sections, and I left the other 6 in there since I've got to take care of one final trainer. Mirror B is on the top of Gateon Port, and for some reason he has 5 Ludicolo's and a Shadow Dragonite. Everything went down easily to Ursaring and Camerupt, leaving me just to snag the Dragonite. Purify all 7 of the remaining Pokemon, leaving me with a completed challenge with a time of 58 hours and 32 minutes. not bad at all, especially with the likes of the 3 run-throughs of Mount Battle and the crazy amount of circling around to purify the different Shadow Pokemon. Admittedly, I could have done it faster by using soft resets in regular Pokeballs, seeing as I could have used the money I used on Ultra Balls on Sense, especially for Togetic, and I could have paid a little bit better attention and just abandoned training 4 Pokemon to level 60, instead just focusing on Camerupt and Claydol. But I do feel like this time is pretty satisfactory, all things considered. However, the next POC won't be so kind to us, but that won't be next week. However, if you do tune in next week, look forward to my next challenge, which is going to be attempting to beat Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver with a single Sunkern. Thank you all for watching, and make sure to like this video, subscribe, and leave a comment on what I should do in the future. I'd love to look at the suggestions and see what inventive things that you guys can come up with. But, bye for now.